Hello everyone, welcome to Cherish Yoga. I am so excited for today's practice, and yes, I am sitting on the ground to begin with. I'm not going to stay on the ground, and you don't have to get on the ground, but we're going to be at ground level today because we are going to do toe yoga, foot yoga. This is becoming, it seems to be becoming more and more of a trending kind of yoga practice. And if you've ever done a class with me, you know I love a good foot exercise. So we're going to be building some foot strength. We're going to be stretching our feet, which is so important for our mobility, for our functionality, for circulation, for our balance, for our stability. Everything else in our body is the foundation is the feet. So we're going to do some toe yoga. We're going to do some foot yoga. If you have a tennis ball or some kind of a ball, you could even ball up some socks, something kind of hard that you can, we're going to massage the feet with it a little bit. And if you have a resistance band, we're going to do a little something with the resistance band. If you don't, it's okay. No worries. You can just skip it over. Here's my thought on today's practice is that kind of go through everything. Find a couple of these that you like. We're going to go through a number of different exercises. So find a few that you like, and then you can incorporate that into your daily life, just kind of as you're sitting around watching TV or sitting at the dinner table or whatever. So go through, figure out what we're doing with all of them, and then you can pick and choose going forward from there. All right, so grab whatever you need and then come on back and we'll get started. All right, I do apologize that you're going to be seeing my feet for this whole video, but it's the best way to be able to get a close-up so you can see exactly what my feet are doing. So we are going to start, and if your feet just gross you out, you might just want to skip this video, to be honest. I totally understand. All right, we're going to start with rolling the foot over the ball. If you have neuropathy or any kind of condition that this does not feel good, you can feel free to modify. Feel free to skip it. Right now we're just waking up the foot. You can also stand up to apply a little bit more pressure if that feels good. If you have something like plantar fasciitis, this actually can be helpful. Can help with your symptoms. Can help relieve some of the I'm losing it here. Relieve some of the stress or the strain. Let's go ahead and switch feet. Oh, there we go. I'm losing it again. Okay, now we're going to go back to the first foot. This time we're going to allow the foot to rest down over the ball, but I am going to apply a little bit of pressure. So I would find somewhere that feels good. And then we're going to hold it and we're going to let that, I have to talk with my hands, sorry, here are my hands. We're going to let that foot just relax down over the ball. We're going to let those muscles relax. Just like with any other part of the body, if you feel an area of discomfort, it could be that there is some kind of a knot, for lack of a better word here, that you can release by applying kind of medium pressure for about 30 seconds. And then we're going to switch sides. So we're going to find a spot. We're going to allow that foot to relax down over the ball, applying a little bit of pressure. And maybe adjusting it. Good. All right, now we're going to take the ball. We're actually going to roll over the top of the foot. This is something we often see kind of the ball underneath the foot, working out kind of any strain or discomfort through the bottom of the foot, through the arch. But we don't want to neglect the top of our foot either. We're just going to give it a nice little massage. Maybe around the front of the ankle. You could also do this with your fingers. You can place, some of your fingers underneath and kind of rub with your thumb. That can feel good. And then we'll go to the other side. And if you have a step stool or something you can put your foot up onto to make it a little easier to access, you're welcome to do that going forward as well. Or I suppose you could even do a little, look at that, look at double duty right there. Getting the bottom of one foot and the top of the other foot. All right, let's do away with the ball for now. Let's do what we're going to call toe splays. So we're going to take our toes and we're going to open them as wide as we can and then press them down into the ground. So we're trying to open up from the pinky toe to the big toe and then release. And we're going to open, press them into the ground, and then release. Good. And open, press them into the ground, and release. All right, here we go. You might start to feel different parts of your foot kind of talking to you. Like right now, I can feel this right through here because this is not something I do all the time. So those muscles are perking up. They're talking to me. And the muscles in the feet, all these muscles are just like any other muscle in the body. They get weaker, they get stronger. Good. Ooh, let's do one more. Okay. Wiggle your toes out a little bit. Now we're going to do that again. We're going to add a heel lift with us. This one you could do standing if you wanted to. I'm going to do it from a seated position today, but you could do it standing. So we're going to splay the toes. We're going to open them as wide as we can. Press all 10 toes down into your ground or your mat, and then we're going to lift the heels up. Continue to press those toes into the mat and release the heels down and then release the toes. All right, we're going to spread all 10 toes, press them into the mat, lift the heels, continue pressing all 10 toes, and release down. Good, here we go. Let's do 4 more. So we spread wide, press all 10 toes into the ground, lift your heels, and release down. Good, and wide. This is 3 more. Lift the heels, and down. So you can see, not necessarily with the ball exercise, but with something like this, you could do kind of underneath the dinner table. And heels. Let's do one more after this one. You could do while you're watching TV. You could just kind of practice throughout your day, build some strength. Spread the toes wide and heels up and down. Okay. Wiggle your toes out a little bit. Wiggle them, wiggle them. Now we're going to practice doing one toe at a time. I'm not going to lie, this is not an easy one. We're going to lift the big toes. And if you, I don't even think I can do this. If you need to just focus on one foot at a time, you can. So we're going to try to lift the big toe, and then the second toe, and then the third toe. Oh. And then the fourth toe. And then, oh my goodness, and then the fifth toe. It's like my brain is sending messages to my toes, but they're just not wanting to cooperate. All right. Other foot, if you haven't already. Now, one that I find a little bit easier than that one is to take all 10 toes up and then slowly put one toe down at a time. And then slowly lift one toe at a time. Keep going back and forth. Good. Now we're going to put the big toes down and then lift, and we're going to put the pinky toes down and lift. And big toes and up, and pinky toes and up. So if you are trying to do this and your feet are not doing anything, it looks like they're not moving at all, Do not lose hope. Things like this take time. It takes time for the muscles in your feet to be strong enough to be able to do exercises like this. It also takes time for the kind of the wires from the brain to the foot to uncross to be able to do what you want to do. So just keep at it. And even if nothing is happening, you're still activating the muscles, the nervous system in your feet, everything in your feet. You're kind of firing them up, getting them to wake up, getting them to work. We're just going to be helpful. Ooh, okay. I've got one more exercise for us. Then we're going to do a little bit of stretching, which should feel nice. So we're going to leave the big toes on the ground. We're going to leave the heels on the ground. And this time we're going to lift the arches of the feet up. So just down through here, down through the arch of the foot, we're going to lift it up. And then we're going to put it down. And we're going to lift up. And we're going to put it down. Good. Now we're going to try to keep not just the toe on the ground, but this kind of joint here, this big joint, your big toe joint. We're going to keep that on the ground, and then we're going to try to lift the arches up, which is going to be harder. And then release down. My other toes are lifting too. I know it looks like I'm doing nothing, but I really am trying to lift these arches. There's a little movement happening, just a little bit, but enough that I know those muscles are working. Things are firing up through the feet. Good, let's do one more. All right, wiggle the toes out. If you have your resistance band, go ahead and grab that. If you don't, you can just kind of watch what we're doing, or you can skip ahead. This one is nice, especially if you have like bunions or something. You can get a nice stretch for your toes. I'm going to wrap the resistance band between the big toe and the second toe with each foot, and then I'm going to just tie a little bow. Whoever thought we'd be doing this, right? All right, now we're going to spread our toes out just a little bit. And spread our feet out just a little bit, and then allow those toes to stretch. You can also get, I think they're called yoga toe, something. I don't know. You can get these kind of stretch. You can get shoes like this too, but you can get stretchers to go between your toes, kind of like what you get when you get a pedicure, where they go between your toes and they just allow them to stretch out. I've heard from people that they're not, if you get shoes like that, they're not very comfortable to walk in, but it can feel good to give your toes just a little stretch every once in a while. Not just your toes, but your feet, because we're really stretching up here into our metatarsals, even up into the arches, into other parts of the feet. As with any stretch, you want to go about 30 seconds. So let's go ahead and take the band off. All right. A couple more. I've got one more stretch and then a nice little relaxation thing at the end here. I'm going to sit sideways in my chair. I'm going to take one foot back, and I'm on the ball of my foot, and I'm just gently taking my knee forward or my heel forward and then back. And forward and back. You could do this standing as well if that's a little more comfortable than being in a chair. Feel free to pause anywhere that you feel like you need a little extra stretch. And then this next one is one of my favorites. I know it's not comfortable for everyone, but if you can, flip your foot over so you're on the top of your toes. And then you're going to drag your knee forward until you feel a stretch down through the front of your ankle, the front of your foot, and then very gently press your heel forward. So you should feel a stretch through the top of your foot, the top of your ankle, maybe even up into your shin. And then let's go to the other side. So we're going to take the heel back, and then the heel forward, and back, and forward. So as I said at the beginning, you might want to think back through the things that we've done. Maybe pick and choose one or two of these that you can just kind of play around with throughout your day. Go ahead and flip over to the top of your foot, drag the knee forward, and then gently press the heel forward. You can just kind of play around with while you're, sitting on the couch, sitting at the table. Just like anything else, if we can incorporate it into our daily life, it will help us to improve more quickly, to see results a little bit more quickly, to build strength more quickly. Good. All right. I've got one more little treat for us. All right. If you have made it to the end of this strange little yoga practice, well done. Congratulations. We're going to do one final stretch. We're going to cross the foot. Now you don't have to cross at your knee. You could you could put it up on a stool or something. What we want to do is try to get the fingers in between the toes. You can come from the top or you can come from underneath. This is a yoga handshake. So we're going to get the fingers in between the toes, and then we're just going to give it a little movement, a little massage. You could even use your other hand and give the arch a massage with your thumb. This could be the strangest little yoga practice we've done so far, but it's so good for us. It's so fun. I love it. Hopefully you've enjoyed it as well. Let's go ahead and switch feet. Something different. Something to kind of move the body differently. No body part left behind, right? We want to incorporate every body part in our yoga practice, even our toes. All right, friends, let's sit back in our chairs. We're going to give ourselves just a moment to just let everything settle. Relax our bodies, relax our feet. We've worked hard today. We're going to relax our feet. We're going to settle back into our chairs for these last few moments, and then I will call us back together. All right, now we'll gently move the hands, gently move the neck. Maybe find a gentle stretch that feels good. Good, and then we'll open our eyes. Let's take a big inhale, arms out to the sides today. Exhale, arms across. One more time, arms out, and then exhale, hands to heart. Thank you, friends, for coming along on this crazy ride today. I so appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.